screen. Oops, here we go. So, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. It's a delight to see you all, really. So welcome to this special interest group meeting. Now Tamara is also a chair of the SIG, but Tamara's busy with she's got many hats. So you've got myself, Mika, and Nikki as co-chairs today. So just about ourselves, my name's Mika, I'm with Southern Cross University, and I was with the School of Business and Tourism, but there's a lot of changes at the university, and I'm going to the Centre of Teaching and Learning, and I will become a learning advisor specialist. Yes. And Nikki?
Yeah, it's interesting with our names, isn't it, Mika? A few people have been calling you Mickey and calling me Nick, so people are getting a bit confused with the pronunciation of our names. Anyway, that's all good. Yeah, so for those who don't know me, I can see quite a few names there of people that I haven't met before. I work at the University of Canberra, and I have been there now for, I think, going on to 5 years, teaching in tourism at universities in Australia for the last 20 years, Mika. I can't believe how quickly that's gone. It seems like such a long time. I know, and I see a few people there who've been teaching for just as long. So I'm an education-focused academic, a teaching-focused academic, which is why I'm particularly interested in this special interest group. So hopefully we can have a really great session today. We've got some ideas that we'd like to propose to you and then get you guys to really feedback with us and share with us some of your ideas. So it's lovely to meet you all online and hopefully we can have a good discussion today. I look forward to it. Thanks, Mika.
Right, so what we have on offer today is very interactive. So Nikki and I will be talking for a short time, and the rest of the time it's about you. We've come up with the help of Glenn Croy, actually, also, with 3 ventures that we'd like to propose for next year. Now we'll describe each of these ventures in turn, talking about teaching, practical pointers, and the support and collaborative mentoring. The point of these ventures is that they're geared to enhance your teaching and learning portfolio, that you will be able to write and support your scholarship of teaching in your own curriculum vitae, and be able to use what you're doing with the group as a way of providing evidence of your engagement with the scholarship of teaching. So what they're designed to do is to allow you to connect cross-institutionally and engage with the contributions of others and share your contributions, which is a great thing to put on your CV. And we're actually doing that now. The other one is to access and disseminate aspects of theory and practice, new theory, new practice, new ideas regarding teaching and e-learning. And the third one is to support and bolster levels of achievement in your teaching and learning, but also sometimes we're being asked to do research into the scholarship of teaching. And if we can get cross-institutional projects going and support each other with that, that's a real bonus. Okay, so it's geared to help you engage and provide evidence of the scholarship of teaching and learning. So we've got a few minutes just to outline the ventures, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms. We're going to allocate you randomly to 3 breakout rooms to discuss those ventures and refine them. Then we'll get you to come back and report because we want you, these ventures are for you, for the members, and that's what we'd like it to benefit you most. So we want a lot of input from how you would like to see them working. So I'll hand over to Nikki to talk about Venture 1.
Okay, so Venture One has come about. Actually, if I could just get people to maybe mute their microphones just for a minute, or Mika, as host, you are able to also mute people. There's just a bit of feedback, and then we'll unmute when we break up into the groups. So with Venture One or Proposal One, we thought this might be, this is the least formal of the three options, and we thought there might still be a need for people or a desire for people to meet informally online through Zoom meetups, because we're clearly all over the world, all over the place, just to get together to network and to talk about teaching and learning, which is what we're focused on. I know a lot of universities are doing this internally, but this is a Cortha SIG venture. So it's something that we would do in that context as Cortha members, and as particularly having an interest in this special interest group. So we would see it as like almost a community of learning, and we've heard that term used a lot in teaching and learning forums, and I think that's it's a nice term. We're a community, and we can help each other. We can share our problems, of which I know we've all have many challenges over the last year, and going forward we will continue to have challenges. We can share those, get them off our chest, always helps, and to seek advice and solutions from each other, from our colleagues. So that's always a really great thing, and a great way to work together, very collegial as we are in Cortha. I think the other thing that this particular proposal may do, and I don't want to lead it because we want that to come from the group together when we chat about it, is that this might actually become part of the other two ventures in a way, because this is really about the discussions. But anyway, we'll see how that plays out. I think just in terms of some of the things, it might be your teaching practice, it might be student issues, learning styles, might be more specific, such as assessment or plagiarism, things like that. I'm sure there's many things that we could create an agenda of topics for multiple sessions. And also, how often would you want to have something like this? We're all super busy. We don't want this every week, maybe every 2 months. Let's throw around some of those decisions so we can put a bit more of a plan in place. So that's Proposal One in a sort of a nutshell. Thanks, Mika. Mika, unmute yourself. Can you unmute? Thanks, great.
There you go. You love to hear my deep voice. Venture Two is about creating almost a repository of short digital recordings illustrating elements of teaching practice, sort of like a very short online presentation, which we have space on our Cortha Teaching and Learning site, on the Cortha site, where we can provide links to those. So, for example, some of the presentations at Cortha this last week have been fabulous, and I was absolutely stunned by the gaming one. Oh my goodness! Like, I would like to see something like that. Yeah, put into a small little, and so I can go back and look at it and learn from it. Similarly, the one, so that was the escape box one. And just the psychological safety in online learning that Marcella talked about. I'd love to see that, and just, this is what I'm doing at the moment. It doesn't need to be super structured. So yeah, so that Venture Two would, again, in your hands. How would you like, do you think it's a good idea? How can we run it? Voluntary, anybody would like to put their hand up to do one or two? You've got some special area that you think you could chat about. By invitation, so I invite, and again, that again would be also a very good thing to put in your curriculum vitae, because it's, you're sharing good practice. So that's Venture Two, and then that would remain as a repository of interesting and useful practical pointers, ideas, how-tos, show, this is how I do this is how I do that, that other people can look at. So that's number two. And venture 3 is possibly a longer term, bigger, longer, further reaching one, is that we're all asked to produce evidence of our scholarship of teaching and learning, either in terms of publications or projects or endeavours. Quite often, a lot of us have some of these and they are languishing in drawers because we just don't get around to finishing them and we lack time, etc. So one of the ways we thought that this would work would be encouraging and inviting people to join our projects, join the various projects, which would revitalize these for ourselves. And sure, you know, the person invited or the person who offers could go on the eventual paper presentation or whatever as the final author, a co-author. And so also there's quite a number of projects which can be merged as well, which work quite well as a merge. So elements of this and elements of that merge together and can join and become, again, well, it could be, for example, part of a Venture 2 proposal and put online as a way. So what it would be doing is it'd be calling on, well, others would be calling on you as a cross-institutional expert in whatever it is that you're specialised in. Whether it's something that I hadn't heard of escape box before. It's new to me. So I'd say, hey, Nikki, I need someone who knows about escape box. You know, so you could write down that you've been called as a cross-institutional expert on escape boxing.
Something to be proud of.
You know, but things, you know what I mean? There's things like that. And also you yourself could call on cross-institutional experts to ask them to contribute to your project or ideas, or even just converse, because it's always good to talk about your projects, which again sort of brings us back to Venture 1.
Yeah.
So they're linked, but the idea is that it brings your scholarship of teaching and learning to the foreground. So I'm going to make breakout rooms, and the idea is to turn these 3 venture proposals into 3 venture plans. So you'll be assigned to a group, and in your team discuss the points, add new points, give it shape, form, maybe create a to-do list, and we'd ask every team for someone to create notes to bring back to the plenary, and then we'll talk about it. So what I'll do now is I'm going to stop sharing and I'll make the groups, and then I'll show you those screens again so you can refresh your mind, and then you can join the groups. So you'll get I'll create these groups.
While you're doing that, Mika, just wanted to let people know, just to remind you of the timing on that. It's just after 3:15 your time. So we might get you in those groups for, say, 15 to 20 minutes and bring you back to the plenary at 3:35. That should be more than enough time, but hopefully, yeah, you guys can jot some notes down within that time. And when you come back, we'll bring you back out of the rooms at 3:35. We'll have 5 minutes roughly from each of the groups to hear back what your thoughts are. If you like them, if you can add some things for us, would be wonderful. Is that okay, Mika?
That sounds terrific. Yeah, I'm just making the groups.
Okay.
Excuse me. While Nikki is creating the group, can I get the passcode of this meeting at Zoom? I have difficulties and at this platform, so I would like to open the meeting on Zoom, but it asked me for a passcode.
Password. Let me get that. Can you hear me? So it's capital H.
Oh, there it is. There, it's been put in the chat. Thank you from Zdenka, who's put that in the chat. Can you see that, Toby?
Awesome. Yeah, I will copy it.
Good work.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mika, how are you going with those groups? Good to go?
I've got them open. And I'll just go back to the screen share and you can see which ones you've been in. So one is talking about teaching the Zoom sessions. These are some proposal discussion points. Venture to practical pointers, so digital recordings, illustrating teaching practice, theory ideas. And number 3 is the increasing the evidence of endeavours and publications through support and collaborations. So off to the breakout rooms. Off you go.
Ina.
Am I right or am I right?
Don't you stay where you are, girl. I'm watching you.
So Nikki, do you want to go to 1 or 2 and then I'll pop? Yeah.
I think you've got me joining 2, so I'm happy to go in there. Is that all right?
Okay. You go to 2, yeah. And I'll
Okay.
go to 1 and 3.
Well, you can move around as a host. You can move around the rooms, but I can't. So I'll stay in 2.
All right.
All right, mates.
At one stage.
Sorry, ladies. Sorry, they're just muted and I can't see anyone. I just want to clarify what's the task again.
Okay, Zdenka, you are in group 1.
Yeah.
And that's to discuss the idea of informal Zoom meetings once every 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
And see how we can bring this to life.
Okay. Starting from somebody basically.
Yeah.
The bigger picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Right. Thank you.
Actually, you're in 2 groups, Zdenka. You're in.
Yeah, I was in 1, but there were 2 people. I couldn't see anyone.
I'm just about to go there myself. I'll see you in room 2.
Yeah. And Naomi. I'll go to group 2.
Yeah, okay. I'm going now. All right.
How are you going, Naomi? Are you all right? So there's going to be some really, really good pointers raised, I can tell.
We need to get those notes, copies of the notes, don't we, Mika?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where's Ina? Is Ina here or has she done a runner?
I'm here.
Oh, she's here.
I was the one taking the notes. I'm here.
Good,
I would
girl.
not do that.
Nice work. Just joking.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I've popped in and out of every group and there's some fabulous, fabulous pointers being raised. Let's start with group 1.
Mute myself. Okay, so that's me, Karina, from Western Sydney University. So we had a group of 4 that were all very supportive of the idea of the community of practice and the networking opportunities, particularly noting that documenting our teaching and learning has been something across all of our institutes, so it's a real priority. We were discussing the times, the frequencies, the formats, the arrangement for leadership and what that could look like. Our general consensus was probably a monthly to 2 monthly, but a monthly is probably easier to remember. So if we had it every Wednesday or a Thursday, and it was post-lunch before the school run for 60 to 90 minutes, no more than 90 minutes, but probably an hour was like a good time frame for it, and having a set agenda for each of the sessions. So we suggested having presentations and maybe by theme or by the research projects, problems, some of the topics that may have come from the second and third proposal, and having them set for each of the monthly sessions, and having 45 minutes of like a planned agenda and then 15 minutes open discussion. And we thought it might be really good to particularly acknowledge the service roles, that you could have a different person take the lead for each one, and they could be responsible for inviting the presenters and coordinating everything, but having an overall person that could coordinate the entire session, a lot of sessions. So we could put like an expression of interest out to get someone in a role that they can acknowledge then on their CV to coordinate the series for the year. Connecting up, Mika, with what you're saying before, with particularly acknowledging the profiles and the expertise, having on the website the members of the SIG and kind of their topics or areas of expertise. And we could also then list or have links to the sessions there to say, you know, on this particular month, it's going to be something about a particular problem or a particular research project that's going to be presented. And that will help to really encourage everyone. But in addition to that, and I can also send some notes through, we would also like to have a discussion platform. So for those that can't attend, or for general discussion throughout the year or in between sessions or when problems coming up, it would be really good for people to contribute their expertise or to pose questions and have that community being able to engage in other forms, not just in the monthly meeting.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's great. It sounds like there was some good support for it, and you guys have really turned that into a, much more of a structured plan. I love the idea of the expression of interest, to put it out there to the group to see if somebody wants to take that sort of coordination role on, which doesn't sound that would be that onerous, or onerous, I should say, when we're all so busy. But again, as you said, that goes on your CV for your leadership and is something that you can really highlight. Love it. Thank you. I'd love to see if you've written some notes, if you could send them through. I missed a few of the things you were mentioning. Thanks.
Definitely, I'll send that through.
Yeah, thanks, group 1. Excellent.
Over to group 2.
Morgan, where's Morgan?
I'm here.
Go, girl.
Apologies again if there's a bit of background noise. So we were talking about uploading or providing practical pointers from a, I guess, one singular platform or repository, talking about Zoom sessions, videos, resources, even go so far as modules and, I guess, SCORM packages. It was overall received very well. Everyone thought it would be quite helpful to have. It's industry practice, you know, in a lot of existing workplaces and such, to have one location to seek out learning modules and materials when something is, you know, you've got a deficiency or a requirement. So, you know, it's already almost a habit in terms of the learning world. It's also a service-based industry, so it would translate very well to bite-sized workshops or little resources to contextualize industry practice and such. We also discuss things like open access forums or crowdsourcing topics and ideas, similar to the third proposal. I think that was your note, Nikki. And then I think the last point was just around having access to champions of industry to share with and draw upon in various ways, all in a centralised place from the Cauthy community.
Yep, excellent. Thank you, Morgan.
Did I summarise that enough?
Yeah, you did. You did a good job. Anybody else from Group 2 want to add anything, or is that? I think we got it all there, didn't we? Yeah, looks good. Yeah, Mika. Mika, mute.
Mute. Yeah, I'm taking so many notes. I'm running out of.
We'll get the notes sent through. Don't stress. Yeah, we'll get the notes.
But it's good. It's good. Focuses my mind. That's great. Thank you so much. Group 3.
All right. For Group 3, we were looking at the scholarship support and collaborative mentoring proposal, essentially around pairing people with similar research ideas, interests, and ideas up, because we did observe quite a few overlaps in the education and training track across the conference, which would, of course, strengthen data or potential publications if we're working in a cross-institutional or international context. Much like the first and the second group, we were then also coming back to the question, how can we facilitate this? What communication channels do we actually use? Do we engage with? The SIG is on Facebook, which does nothing. It's on LinkedIn, which doesn't do anything either. Email distribution list turned out to be quite challenging for Mika as well, with people being on the move. The Cauthy website, all that falls on Penny. And I think we all know if there's something that we actively need to access without being prompted, we're just not going to go there and we're just not going to do it. We were also thinking about regular Zoom meetings that might happen at, for research and collaboration, we probably wouldn't need it every month, but 3-4 times throughout the year possibly. We were thinking about online discussion forums or websites where people could describe their interests, what they have at the moment, what they might be looking for, or just put out a call for collaborators. Again, the question here being, what is something that people actually access and engage with that? At the end of the day, it doesn't really require all that much initiative from the individual scholars. So yeah, Karen also mentioned that so far a lot of the SIG communication has been reliant on the conference as well as the mid-year meeting, where lots of people also are part of other special interest groups, with the learning and teaching one sort of being an additional one. Yeah. So it's really, again, about that communication issue, and I'm afraid we did not manage to come up with the perfect solution either. But Mika's taken lots and lots of notes, and maybe something can come from that also. Johan, Karen, Antoine, would you like to add anything? Did I miss something? I'll take that as a no.
No, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's great. Your point is totally taken about how other people, there's so many SIG groups and they're all great. I wanted to be another couple right now as well. And I think that's where Tamara, our third co-chair, is also attending another one that she had to present at. So it is hard when we only have an opportunity mid-year and at quarter time. So that's a great idea about maybe doing, more dispersed throughout at different times and communicating that to the group. Although on the other hand, I know Mika has spent a lot of time sending emails out, and we often don't get a lot of response at other times of the year, so people don't really think about it that much. So hopefully through these proactive ventures we can tackle that a bit.
I think, I'm not sure if sending out emails and asking for expressions of interest usually does all that much. But if you send me a calendar invite, if you put a calendar invite into my calendar immediately saying at this particular time we're meeting for an hour and a half on Zoom, this is our purpose for today, we're throwing out our research ideas, the data, the half-finished projects we have lying around from 3 years ago to see what we can make of that. Then people don't necessarily need to do anything actively. They just click and join. They don't even have to add it in the calendar by themselves. And everyone has something lying around. And the promise of getting yet another publication, I think might work well, especially now.
I think, sorry to interrupt, Mika, I'll just say one more thing and then I'll shut up, but it was just about the mentoring aspect. And I know Mika's been so great with me and with other people with mentoring more, I guess, more junior academics who might be in the early stage of their career. And that's where something I think we can really get some strength out of this particular venture, is to get the more senior academics who might have more experience and might have more things in their bottom drawer to share with the junior academics that don't even know how to start or are struggling for topics. So I really would love to see that nurturing happening within that.
For that, there might actually also be a possibility to set up events for that specific purpose. So we've done the PhD Virtual Wednesday seminar series throughout, oh God, what was it, July, August, September, I believe. Every 2 weeks, 1 hour where students can present what they're doing, where they get tips and tricks from academics on certain areas. So if something's being set up with a specific mentoring focus, in terms of we're bringing senior academics and PhD students, ECRs together, and just specifically make that connection so that they can perhaps take that further on their own time. Maybe that's also an option.
That's a great idea. Can you add that to your notes if you haven't got them already, Ina, when you send them through, just so we don't forget?
Oh, I'm sending them through? Okay.
Karen.
I think one of the things that's made me think of as well is that, you know, with the chapters directors meeting that some of us were in just before that, you know, we were talking about the challenges that our institutions are facing in terms of lower enrollment numbers and lack of international students and courses being cut, in some cases programs being cut. But those who still do have programs, often the opportunities to get some early teaching experiences in some institutions seems to be enhanced at the moment because permanent staff are going, so they're needing to bring in contractors. But in other institutions, the opportunities for sort of your first teaching experiences are disappearing because, and I'll use the example of Victoria University of Wellington, where Ina and I are, you know, at the moment, you know, our courses are small enough that we can't employ tutors. We're doing our own tutorial activities. So we can't give opportunities to our PhD students to get that first bit of teaching. That work's just not there. So I quite like the idea, not just for PhD students, but to think about how we kind of enable the student, the earlier career and students to actually sort of develop their teaching and learning at a time where it's looking very different.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. Thank you.
So I think in a way it's this networking. I think the concept of the cross-institutionality of this and the cross-nationality of this, because Johan's over there in the boondocks. Snowing outside, Johan? Yes. There lies the value of this. The core value of us is us. The core value of us is us. We who are here and connecting with each other. And so, yes, I know that some schools like Southern Cross University was looking for some casual tutors. If you know anyone who's looking for a casual teaching job, send them my way because my job's open. My previous job is open, but there. And one of the things that seems to have cropped up from the 3 teams is how do we communicate best with us? And maybe like the first, just one idea is, well, Johan, you had an idea about the, what was it? The Kelly Catonic Kamloops, a digital repository?
Yes, so that is, it's a large project that CTS has gotten funded from the Canadian Social Sciences and Humanities Fund, where CTS is becoming more of an association rather than a network. And one of the parts of that research project is a digital repository of teaching cases, of curricula, of syllabi. So all of that will be based at Kamloops University, and it's going to be a freely available resource. And I think coming from my TEFI hat and from my current environment, lots of things are happening in an international scene that might then also be interesting for CAUFI. Now, as we are digital, it really doesn't matter whether it is Australia, New Zealand, or like I'm standing in northern Japan right now. So there's associations here in Japan for tourism and hospitality educators. So I think this interlinkage is also really important. Getting to know people, and I left Southern Cross University 11 years ago. So my network of Australian colleagues start to be a little bit rusty.
Send you a kiss. Yeah, and that again brings it back, like as John said, this interlinkage is so important. So I think whatever we do, as long as we keep communicating with each other and seeing each other's faces and knowing what we're doing and etc. Is really important. Maybe even those first, the Zoom, you know, Noreen and Paul, Sophie and Karina, that first, those Zoom meetings could also, in a way, almost be a continuation of this. Yes, structured, but also not heavily structured. Yeah. But again, an opportunity to refresh, because it's, as we said, it's, you know, it's every half year we see each other, and that's too long. The other idea I had is, because hosting these, just going back to that group one Zoom meetings, this, you know, the community of practice, maybe if it's too big a job for one person to organize a whole year's worth of it, thanks, Johan. If it's too big for one person to organize a whole year's worth, but maybe we could get one person to do 3, so a quarter of a year, and another person to do 3, quarter of a year. And it still looks fabulous on the curriculum vitae. And that way we cover 4 people's CVs instead of 1. Like, I'm just thinking, you know, it's being clever. And whatever platform we use, like Zoom probably, yeah, but however we record that, I'm open to ideas. Like I said to, I think it was group 3, I can easily build a website or a blog site or something of the sort. If wanted, I can do that. But is that then yet again something else for somewhere else to go to? And are we overwhelmed by everything that's, you know, online anyway? Yeah.
It's a fine line, isn't it? It's a fine balance, because we're all so busy. The last thing we want is another place that we've got to go and find things. And so I was quite, you know, interested in the Cortha platform, because we've got that there and we're all Cortha members. And that might be just the place to do it, rather than starting a web or a blog or whatever. And I think what Ina was saying is also in the back of my mind about how we communicate and get things happening. And also, how I love what you're saying about sharing some of this responsibility, because we're all too busy to take on too much. So if we can spread it and get some, you know, people to share it around, it's beneficial to more individuals, and it also takes the load off one person. So we do need to sort of commit a bit. But then I think somebody said before, it's not such a big thing. This is not like, we're not writing a PhD, you know, we're just trying to be communal and collegial, really. Yeah. So anybody else? I think we've only got minutes left. Does anybody else want to add anything while we have a few minutes?
Has anybody got any projects in the drawers that you want to get going? I've still got the happiness project. I need to finish that one. That's a paper in the drawer. Anybody interested in positive psychology?
I'll write on happiness. I'll try to write on happiness.
Good.
There you go, right there, guys. Connect. So, Mika, how will we get the copies of the notes from the three note takers or the
Well, if
minute takers?
If the note takers email them to Nikki and myself, do you have our emails? We'll just write them in the chat to everyone, just in case you don't have it there. That's mine.
Yeah.
And I've jotted down everybody who's here, and I think I'll be able to find you all. And I think what I'd like to do, maybe with you, Nikki, is we'll compile those notes and send them back to everybody.
Yeah, a summary. Yeah.
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 So we've got 16. Paul's had to go.
Yeah, Noreen left as well.
Noreen had to go. Yeah. So Noreen, Paul, Sophie, Karina, Morgan, Nikki, Vizak, Zdenka, Antoine, Ina, Johan, Karen, Semra, Tagrid. Have I missed anybody?
We'll get the list from the recording anyway. It'll be
yeah,
in there.
we will. Yeah. And we can send a link. We were asked if we could send the recording round as well. We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from anybody? Last chance.
Can I just jump in here? And speaking on collaboration and sharing knowledge and helping PhD scholars and early career, I would love to invite you all to participate in my PhD project. I'm currently doing research about hospitality education and sustainability education within Australian hospitality curricula. And I am looking for highly experienced academics within hospitality like you all. So I would love you, if you are able, I know academic schedule are very loaded and busy, but I will be glad and thrilled if I have participants who can take part on a 30 to 45 minutes interview arranged based on your convenience time. So yeah, so speaking on collaboration and helping, so
nice one. Nice work, Tagrid. Yeah, I'm sure people will be happy to if you let us know.
Yeah, I will. Yes, Mickey.
Send it through. Make sure to email me, and then I've got access to a whole bunch of hospitality education.
Awesome. Yeah, I will send you the participant information sheet and everything about my research and the interview question checklist for your information to review, and it will be really nice, and I will appreciate your assistance in finding participants who can take part of this project.
Excellent. I think we're about to lose the recording. We'll just be cut off. So we should say thank you to everybody for attending, Mika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And it's been fantastic to see you all. And
thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Mika. Good job.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Terrific and great to see you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Mika. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. I think they just literally will cut us off, Mika. So I'll be in touch with you soon, okay?
Yeah. That sounds
awesome.
Great.
That's great. I think we've got some great ideas. Excellent.
Terrific ideas, and I look forward to those notes that we've got. Yeah. So that'll be good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Do you want to close the meeting? Yeah?
Yeah, close.
Okay.
I'll stop recording.